All right, The Black Phone. Thoughts? Just puke thoughts? I mean,
Puke thoughts. The Black Phone was a movie. It was a feature-length film. I liked the way that we kidnap children and put them in a basement. It's a classic story. We love putting kids in basements.
Yeah.
But we get to spice it up with...
You know what?
What?
My bad summary should have been? It's not. I could have kept that a secret and did it later, but now I'm here, so I might as well say it.
Say it.
The prequel to Barbarian.
Prequel to Barbarian, honestly, yeah.
Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. It's your classic kidnapping story with the added bonus of long-distance calling.
Yeah.
So...
it's Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, the critic score. What would you give a gander what they liked?
I feel like Rotten Tomatoes probably ate this up a little bit. I'm thinking at 84%.
You're so good at this. 81.
81, okay.
And the popcorn meter, the fan vote. What do you think?
79.
88.
Oh, even more.
Couple of the reviews. It's not groundbreaking, but it's very well done. The young actors rise above their material, but Hawk is wasted as the killer. Couldn't agree more.
100%.
The Black Phone is another example of trying too hard to be cerebrally scary, but failing miserably. It was all such a convoluted mess, that left me beyond annoyed and speechless. Obviously not that speechless. The Black Phone reunites Sinister's creative team for a film that skillfully employs old school horror and popcorn excitement with sincerity and heart.
Have you seen Sinister?
I have not.
I have not seen it.
I feel like another
round.
podcast in our near future.
Yep.
All right, so on to our stuff. The bad casting. I'll start. I try to use the 2022 movies. Sometimes it doesn't work as well. I kind of like what I have here. I recast Finney as Nicholas Hoult. He's the kind of dopey guy in The Menu from 2022. Obviously, it doesn't work because he's not a kid, and but he's like dopey enough that
it's sellable.
Yeah, he can definitely be bullied by the guy in the mask, right? The Whale was in 2022. That's Brendan Fraser, and I think that Brendan Fraser should be still the Whale, but he should play Max, the brother on cocaine. But he's, because he's the Whale still, he's just like everything he does is very slow, and so like, the grabber comes home and he's like walking towards the basement door, and he just like he gets to it before him and just shuts the door. He's like, no.
Well, I'm thinking Brendan Fraser like getting stuck halfway down the staircase because he's so fucking big.
Yeah, and then Finney just dies down there because they can't get him out. Yeah, I like that. And then Chris Hemsworth was in some movie that year, which
statistically,
of course he was. He could play the grabber, but I want him dressed as Thor because he still like has a mask of some kind. Obviously, it's not a mask with Thor, but
like still like the armor of Thor and everything, like authentic. Like
he's got the hammer.
He's got the hammer,
but the hammer's a toy. Right, and so like he's just like beating the kids with the hammer, and they die from suffocating while laughing because the guy's just like hitting them with a rubber hammer.
What I'm thinking, and we get to still keep the kill with Max because it's like the toy. He presses a button and then like a tiny little blade comes out, so like it can still be a weapon, but he only uses it on Max.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Look what you made me do." It's like you had options.
What'd you have for bad casting?
Bad casting, Tom Holland, because I feel like we just need to continue egregiously making this adult man a child.
Yeah, I like that.
And then my wife gave me this one, replacing the grabber with a Muppet. And I had to. So I watched the first one with her, and I had to pause it because she was like, "Wouldn't it be funny if the grabber was just a Muppet?" I paused the movie, and I'm like, "Go on, tell me this fantasy you have." And it's just like, the movies where it's like the Muppets and the real people, and like everyone acts like it's just legit. She's like, I want nothing more than to be like this Muppet we just see kind of like coming down the stairs with like this cheap ass mask, but it's like a Kermit the Frog type of voice, talking to the kids. And I thought that was incredible.
I think resonates for me.
Yeah,
for some reason.
And then just with how like kind of oddball Max was, and also the cocaine, I wanted it to be Jim Carrey. I just felt like that would have added just such an extra layer of funk to it. That would have been really fun.
I love this a lot. Bad trailer. I said we can make it look like he's doing a basement remodel, and it's a father-son thing. And so like when the grate falls from the window, you cut to the grabber like just like laughing at something, right? Like remodels. Am I right?
Laugh track.
And then you can use the clip from the trailer where he screams, "Get off the phone," even though they didn't use it in the fucking movie.
Shame.
Which I have complaints about. You use that when the grate falls, or no, excuse me, when he's on the phone, because he's like, "You're supposed to be helping. Get off the phone. Pick up a hammer.
911, what's your emergency?" Or he's like calling the plumber or something because there's fucking dirt in the toilet.
Yeah. And then we can obviously you can use all the parts where he's digging, like that could be just used as he's like working on the basement, right?
Yeah.
So that's my bad trailer.
That works. My first thought was we just take all the scenes of the kids fighting because there's an incredible amount of them.
Yeah.
And it's just like Kid Fight Club.
Yes.
I very much so wanted it to be that.
First rule about Kid Fight Club: don't talk about Kid Fight Club.
Yep. And then second one was just we retitled this movie to be The Black Van, and it's just like all the cuts of the van kind of rummaging around, but it's like the Jaws theme playing in the background. So it's like the van is the entity that's killing everybody.
Almost like tire.
Yeah.
Or no, rubber.
Rubber,
me.
yeah.
Yeah. I'd consider doing a rubber review at some point.
That is a fucking movie, that's for sure.
My bad summary is young girl questions Jesus. It's quite possibly my favorite line of the movie is, "Jesus, what the fuck?"
So relatable. The first thing I wrote down was there's a "is your refrigerator running" joke somewhere in there. I'm trying to break out through it and the calls and everything.
Yeah.
Man attempts to kill kid that ran up long distance phone bill. And then even more egregious, strong economy encourages man to buy a second house and explore hobbies. I
had something about, I do love the refrigerator running thing. I had a second laugh there. I was trying to play with something with, like brother comes to visit type of thing, but I don't know. It just didn't, I couldn't get, I don't know. Anyhow. So into some of the notes here. I got a lot of like funny, just like live tweet type ones. Like Robin, in a situation like that, the more blood the better. I'm like, what is this kid, Mr. White in Reservoir Dogs?
Apparently.
Like what the fuck?
I and my wife agreed with me on this when they were in the bathroom and kind of talking to each other. I was like, there's like a weird romantic tension between these two kids for some reason. I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like it felt, and maybe it's just because they were bros and like obviously Finn didn't have a ton of friends, so like that was his dude.
Yeah.
But like I was just kind of laughing to myself because I was like, I feel the love. And if anything, it is just that strong bro love, but I felt it.
And it's also like the young boy thing, because like Shane Gillis has a joke about that, where it's like young boys are just kind of inherently gay, right? Like you're your mom's gay best friend until you reach a certain age, like, girl, tell me about your day, until you like jack off for the first time, and then you're like, Mom, get away from me. but like that's true, right? Like young boys inherently are just like, ew, girls, gross.
Yeah.
And then
they don't have like that, I guess, barrier of like I don't tell my bro everything and he's not the closest thing I have kind of thing.
Yeah, when you're a young kid, you're just like oh, well, you're obsessed with friends when you're that age, right? Like I remember my friend Corey, he said this one time, like I didn't, before I hit puberty, like I never understood like, marrying a girl, right? Like your thought as a kid is like, oh, I would just marry my friend, Ryan. I don't remember what name he used, but I would just marry him. Like he's awesome. Why would I want to marry a girl?
Think of the tax benefits.
Yeah, right. So in that same vein, like, I see what you mean.
Totally good.
I thought the white detective with the mustache looks like he might abduct kids in his free time.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure he's not the grabber? Dumb fucking fart knockers as an insult. It's just incredibly underrated. Might pick that one up.
Yeah. Gwen was fucking on fire with the one-liners. And again, we landed way stronger in the first one than in the second one.
There's something about a child saying incredibly vulgar things that just lands so much harder than a teenager saying similar.
Yeah. Especially when it's in like the 70s, 80, or was it 84? Is what 2 was in, so this would have been like 80 or 79.
So I think what they were saying was the first kid got taken in 78. So I think Finney, because that was their mom had been dead. Wait.
Mom's been dead for 7 years.
Right.
As of 2.
Yeah.
So 3 years as of 1.
Right. Okay, so 78 was when something Billy Buckhalter.
Billy Butthole.
Yeah, sure. Billy Butthole. I don't feel comfortable calling a child that, but we'll move on. So if he's taken in 78, Finney gets taken in 81. Yeah, we're probably in
late 70s, early 80s.
So if it's 3 years and it's been 7, so we're probably around 85 or something.
But the lingo of that time, like everything I've been shown to know, is that like any generation, there's a funky way that people would talk, and then especially with the things that are like insults or, kind of like your talk of the youth.
Yeah.
Everything's fucking weird, and it definitely hit, I guess, the weird enough for me.
Yeah. And then, so then I don't think I had any other funny lines. Oh, I mean, I had in here, Jesus, what the fuck?
Classic.
Definitely thought Finney cried well. I feel like for kid actors, he did pretty damn good.
Yeah. I generally hate child actors, but I felt like both of them had pretty good portrayals of the character they were trying to be.
Yeah. Also, I'm not going to leave you behind, but this is the last time we're going to talk. Just in the last thing where I'm not going to leave you behind, Finney, but it's also like, yeah, after you hang up the phone, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not leaving you behind, but this is the last time I'm going to talk to you ever.
Yeah.
So,
but it's less of like a I didn't abandon you.
Yeah.
It's more of a you go now kind of thing. He wasn't going to leave him until Finney was ready to be on his own.
Yeah.
Bromance is real.
And I had a slight problem with. Okay, we can get into like some talking points now.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be quicker, but I got caught up in the weeds a couple times. I've talked a lot. What do you got?
I want to talk about the mask. I love masks in general. So anytime we have like an iconic type of mask, I like to focus on it a little bit. In our grabber's case, the mask we don't really know of necessarily means anything, and he's got multiple.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was a little bit of a gap. Like the mask design is cool. I love it. I think it looks dope. But like the mask doesn't inherently mean anything seemingly.
Right.
And then the point of having like two different masks, where one's like the big evil grin, and then the other one's like the frowny face for, I guess, like naughty time. Where he's, beating the kids, waiting for them to make a mistake type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like somewhere in there we could have got a minute or two explanation that gave some type of meaning to the mask. And especially, I mean, because it's on him the entire time of 1, it has to be on it the entire time of 2. But like with us getting a sequel through 2 movies of,
and just no explanation.
Yeah.
Kind of like we were talking about in the second one, But why don't we have any sort of origin on him? And the mask could be an excellent thing, because obviously it is very important to him, because in the end of this movie, when Finney grabs the mask off of him, that's a thing that throws him off his game, where he's probably seemingly going to get Finney if Finney doesn't throw him off his game by removing the mask, because then all of a sudden he's like, ah!
Yeah, he had very visceral reaction to being revealed for some reason.
Right. So, like, what is that?
Yeah. Dude's just ugly.
Yeah,
I too would have that reaction.
I definitely do want. I agree. I definitely do want. Yeah. Something there. What was this? So there's that one part where he goes, he's like, well, hey, what's your name? And he lies to him, says a different name. And then, then he just drops the plate of food.
Yeah.
Throws the paper at him. And he's like, I almost let you go.
Yeah. I love that line. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't believe him.
Oh,
but
yeah, and that's what I was going to ask.
I wanted to believe him. And I think that's the way that it's like a convincing scene, is like that kid, like it's breaking down your victim a little bit. So it's like Finney probably believed that if he would have told the truth, that he would have gotten let go, which will make him feel more hopeless and more likely probably to act out in, the naughty time or whatever it was, so he can get beat. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was a good moment. And I just, like you said, it's, anyway, the thought's not complete. Just
You're
move
good.
on. What do you got?
Just going back to the masterpiece a little bit. I'm thinking about this now. I want to go back through and see if like anywhere in the scenes where we see Max, if we see the mask like hanging up somewhere or like on a coffee table or something in the background. And part of this is one of the points that I had written down was, the story was like, I'd say like fairly straightforward, as far as like there wasn't a bunch of things for us to like guess at and interpret, because the story is just the story. There's not like a trying to figure out who done it, because that wasn't the point. And there's not much of like a mystery to try and solve, because like none of
Max sure had one to solve.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? So it's like for us, the viewer, like none of that stuff mattered. And I kind of want to talk about like in like horror movies in general, it's like kind of the value of like telling a story to where you can try and guess ahead and like uncover a secret before the ending, and then kind of find the breadcrumbs. And versus just a story just being the story, and what you get is what you get. I'd spent a lot of Black Phone 1 looking for things to like look ahead on and like try to be like, oh, like this is a thing, like these are these are plot points we could staple together. But like none of it was there. The story was just the story as it was being told, and there wasn't like, I guess, extra layers for me to do the investigative work. I guess Max did it all for us, so there was no need.
Max, I thought, added obviously he didn't add like a ton to the movie, but just that the sense of almost an impending doom that Max is, there's that one shot, right, where Finney's like, I think he's like, it's a moment where Finney's crying, and then we, go up through the floor, and Max is up there,
It's the reverse, actually. It's where we're upstairs with Max,
and
then we do the descent down, because that's where it's like oh shit, like there's no way, because then it's like, oh, like Max is the killer somehow, but then we remember like he's talking about like, oh, like someone's upstairs, or we get a little bit of the layers, but it's like that was the only thing to where it's like, oh, there's a little bit of guesswork we can try and do and say like, oh, is it really Max?
Yeah.
And then we like almost instantly find out it's not.
It's definitely not Max.
Yeah.
I just
the hair didn't match up.
Yeah. I just love that he's up there. Like the concept, the grabber is just like, God.
Yeah.
And
I'm just trying to kill these kids.
Yeah.
And my cokehead brother's visiting from out of town, and I got to entertain him, and he doesn't quite like me kidnapping these kids and killing them. So got to keep
Just-
that hush hush.
And like the concept that the guy that kills kids that is cold enough and just heartless and terrible enough of a person to be doing that wouldn't is still a pushover that his brother comes over and like no one knows you, like you have the perfect cover, you've got away with all of these, and that seemingly your brother is your one kryptonite.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I need a place to crash, and you're just like, fuck,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Like the fact that the thought that the grabber, the worst person, couldn't just go, no.
Now's not a good time.
Yeah, just like, hey, no matter where you are in life, telling family no's still hard.
Yeah, it's true.
Were you a little disappointed that he used the phone as the weapon?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the grate fell down from the window. Now, maybe that's a little heavy for what's he supposed to be, 12, 13? Something like that.
Just about.
But even if you're not doing that, I mean, there's the toilet tank lid.
That's the note I put down. Was like that would
Yeah.
have been my weapon of choice, was the toilet tank lid. Because again, like that's made of porcelain or whatever. So like if that breaks at all, like those can get pretty sharp edges.
Yeah.
And that's damaging. So
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. The grate's probably too heavy. I guess that's our only choices. But the phone just seemed a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, I guess it's the fact that like Robin is the one like coaching him through, like, oh yeah, just unscrew the phone and fill it with dirt and then punch him a lot. Like it was such a like you fucking idiot, Fenny. Why didn't you think of this yourself?
Why didn't you just challenge him to a boxing match?
That's what I would have done.
Yeah. I was like, well, why didn't you do it? Why are you dead?
Yeah. And he's like, I'm the grabber, not the boxer, and then just punches the kid.
It is funny that's. I mean, the only problem I had with like the list of kids that he took, that Vance Hopper,
Yeah. He was a big boy.
like that's an adult-sized kid.
Yeah. He had to have like gotten him by surprise, and
Right.
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's like, again, that kid fucked up that other kid. Also, all these kids are badasses.
a lot
Like,
of badass kids.
ridiculous. Like Gwen picking up the rock and bashing the kid's head, like immediately blood. I was like, that is heavy. And then when she gets her shit kicked in, they just like sit next to each other, and it's like,
Damn,
yeah.
yeah.
And like that's just what it was. And
Yeah.
then Vance Hopper or whatever, it's like, he just pushes, I think, one of the kids because he fucks up the pinball game.
Yeah.
And then pocket knife.
Switchblade.
And then he just charges the kid with the pocket knife and fucks him up.
Yeah.
Incredible. All these kids are badasses.
Uh-huh.
And maybe our generation is doomed, because I wouldn't dream of doing any of that shit.
It's very possible. But yeah, he did not fit the profile of the weak, powerless type of kid that you can just bully. And I don't really know how that works out. I mean, I guess you consider like man strength to, kid strength type of thing, but like, I don't know.
But if Fenny's able to snap this dude's neck with a phone cord and, his body weight,
Yeah.
then I feel like Vance Hopper, at 6'9" of a teenage boy, should have been able to throw down a bit. Maybe that's why he wears the mask. Maybe he did get fucked up.
Yeah.
But
The mask is a new thing.
yeah,
Up till a couple weeks ago.
I just got it. Do you like it?
This way?
This space. As far as the utilization of the ghosts, in most movies when there's ghosts, they're the bad guys, unless it's like the tragic, we find out at the end that they were trying to help or protect us.
Yeah.
And this one, all the ghosts right off the bat we knew were helping us.
Yeah.
Like they died tragically and they're there to help us. So how do we feel about that, as far as like the Casper the Friendly Ghost approach as opposed to Ghost Bad?
And and through 2 movies too. I mean,
Well, except when
when the
the
grabber's
grabber
ghost, yes.
becomes the ghost, which seemed unfair.
I kind of like it, right? Because I don't know if you get into the philosophy standpoint with it, where you're trying to. I mean, there's the whole thing about like we reveal a little bit in the next movie too that like until these people are found,
Can't move on.
Can't be put to rest, right? They can't rest, whatever. So I guess, so from a philosophical standpoint, I guess, right? Is it's like where, like, why, like, are these ghosts that just aren't bad yet? Right? Like if more time passes,
Yeah, and that's probably a good point because like if we think of it like most ghost stories are like a died tragic, now I'm haunting and I need to be put to rest. So it's like whether I'm a vengeful spirit doing bad things or a helpful spirit doing good things. Ultimately, I just want the thing to happen to where I can then be put to rest. So I kind of like the idea of the longer that you spend out in that world, the more like of
bitter.
a vengeful kind of spirit you become.
It's like, okay, no one's going to help me out. Well, then fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Right? And just starts, I mean, it's an interesting concept. I guess sort of a commentary about people, right? It's like, ghosts are made out to be the bad thing sometimes, but then sometimes what's worse than the thing you think is all scary, the thing you don't know is like, oh well, people suck a lot too. So I don't know if I really had any good answers there.
the worst thing that can ever happen to a person is just another person. That's just ultimately what things come down to.
Yeah, I don't know if it's any sort of insight into the other side. I mean, because it's funny that a lot of movies, shows, everything, a lot of art, just in general, right, is people coping with the like, is there something after this life, right? Yeah. And so it's like a lot of like thought processes and shit like that. I think the more I read like Stephen King stuff, I feel like most of his books are him just going like, I mean, like, what if it's like this?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
The most bad shit what if scenarios. But
Yeah. Anyway, there's a whole other conversation there, but
yeah. One other thing that I really wanted out of the ending sequence was when they find the kids in the house across the street, which just as a storytelling element like that it makes no goddamn sense and is so convenient.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, when they got downstairs, for there to be a phone in that basement.
Oh,
and like,
yeah,
and even if it like, like there was nothing to like give indication that like they were using the phone, like I just felt like that would have been something valuable.
Yeah.
Like even as just like visual storytelling, or if like the phone was off the hook or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like that would have been such a simple, small thing that would have been kind of like a cool oh shit. Because again, when we go back to Ghosts, like you're usually haunting like a local, specific area. And maybe, it was just far enough that they were able, and that's why there was a bad signal, right on the edge of my cell service. I can barely reach you.
Yeah.
But like I just felt like that would have been such a easy thing to have added into the other basement, was just a phone on the wall.
Yeah. Well, I like that a lot. I also like the idea that he's just sitting down there in his kitchen with no shirt on, with a belt and the mask, and that Max just never happens to walk into the kitchen. I mean, he's a cokehead. He's up all the time, right? Like, why?
Maybe he just
never, even if he's like walking in from going out to the bar or something, just like all messed up on coke, and then he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Hello, Max. Did you enjoy your evening?
Have you been a naughty boy?
Have you been a naughty boy? Go walk the dog, Max.
Wait, what's with the mask? And like, why are you shirtless? Just don't worry about it.
One of the things I feel like we need to talk about is with Gwen and all of her supernatural dream powers of this movie, ultimately entirely irrelevant.
Yeah. Absolutely.
She took them to the wrong house. Finn escaped on his own with no help and assistance from her, got out to the front door and everything. Like, Finn did not need Gwen in any way, shape, or form, and Gwen's powers, served no purpose outside of being a place to take screen time away from Finn in the basement.
Yeah. There's something in there about... I mean, you're absolutely right. I'm not arguing with you at all. There's something in there about the ghosts not having any memories.
And she got to be the memories for them.
Right. But the ghosts can only... They don't know they've been taken to a secondary location.
Yeah.
And so the ghosts can only... They're essentially like putting out a radio signal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're over here. You know, and so they're just like, we're over here.
Mm-hmm. So you think that's what it is? It's just an SOS beacon that she just happens to have the skill for?
Kinda. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
then
that doesn't make her any more useful, because I completely agree with your point, is it's very funny that we spend a significant amount of time with Gwen, her trying to figure things out. It's very convenient that apparently the grabber is also a real estate mogul and has a house right across the street from his own. Also, a small point there of like, just lock the basement door and you tell Max, just go stay over there so I can do my weirdo no shirt in the kitchen shit. Because also, what was the plan? Like, was he going to get, like, was there going to be a kid screaming in the kitchen as he whacks him with a belt, and then Max is going to be like, oh, you know, where's
was Max just staying in the second house?
He should have been, but I don't believe he was. Because Max goes in the basement of the house Finney's in, so I believe he's staying. I mean, and they have their shot of the, you know, between the floors, and
You're right. Yeah, I'm fucking crazy. Okay.
But
because that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
there.
how did we dance around everything so much with Max not being any the wiser?
Right. Anyway, and then I was on the... Yeah, I think all she has is an SOS beacon, really.
So does that mean, like, this ability isn't necessarily unique, then, to her?
It's
like,
not. It's certainly not foolproof.
Well, yeah.
And then... It doesn't explain... I mean, we won't talk about the second movie, I guess. If we ever, like, do a full-on... I don't see us doing a full-on review of the two at any point, just because...
Who's got time for that?
Well, that... Yeah, and I mean, we did it enough with the second one, so...
Yeah.
Okay. But if we ever did talk about it, there'd just be the mom followed the first boy to the house through her dreams. Now, how that works... I have no idea, and maybe the mom was just more in touch with the Force, if you will.
She'd been doing it for longer, right? So
sure, yeah. The Force was stronger with this one.
It was stronger. She's got more of the Leopleurodons or whatever. That's
Midichlorians?
Yeah.
The midichlorians or whatever? Yeah.
The mitochondrias.
Yeah. All right, so let's grade this fucker.
Let's do it.
Can we cut significant chunks, get the same story?
I mean...
I'm going to go with no.
No. I feel like by all technicality you could. It would just suck.
You could probably
Like, we spent so much time in the basement just doing the different things the different dead kids had tried already.
Yeah.
And, like, it doesn't get him out, but it just builds the story of the dead kids.
I'm still very upset there wasn't more interaction with the grabber, because Ethan Hawke is very good at what he does. And he's very underutilized in both movies, and I'm really upset that he wasn't just more present, like terrorizing him or whatever, you know, or just even like threatening him or whatever.
The dialogue between the two of them was just so satisfying.
Yeah. So. Ethan Hawke executes it well. So, anyway, I don't think we can cut significant chunks. I almost feel like you cut the dad like being abusive stuff, but like, I don't know. What do you feel like it added anything to them, really? Because I guess my only thought was, it's just like, oh, of course it happens to this kid. Like, he's already got to deal with all this shit. Now he's taken. You know, I don't know.
I mean, I think in a way it kind of adds on to like the cowardice, right? So it's like the not fighting back in all the fights. He's not standing up for his sister to his dad. So then it's like the development through this movie of him being able to actually like fight against him. Yeah. Like, I feel like you kind of needed some of those other scenes to show the progression, because it was, essentially just him going from a coward to someone that was willing to defend himself.
Okay, yeah. So no, I don't really feel like we could cut significant chunks from this.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have a couple, like, maybe a little unnecessary, maybe, but I feel like it keeps its half point here.
Yeah.
All right. Is the story inconsequential to its universe? No.
No.
Yeah.
Everything matters.
We have a full 1.5 at this point. What other rules? What's the gimmick? Do we have too many gimmicks? Originality with the gimmick. Have we seen it before? Lost potential on gimmick. Crystal Skull, bullet magnets.
Yeah. No, I saw a movie called Black Phone 2, and it reused a lot of the same kind of plot devices, so I'd say no originality.
I feel like within the same universe you can keep it, though. Right? I mean,
and this one came out first. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if you have 10, like a Friday the 13th,
yeah,
right?
It doesn't lose points for being the 10th movie.
I feel like at 10, I'm gonna say like around 5, you probably start losing points. But I feel like you probably have a 4-movie window where all of it's original.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fairly original. What we gave it about 1.5 for the.
Yeah.
It's not like there's anything. If anything, this one's like more original in the way that you're talking to the ghosts on the phone type of thing. Like, does this maybe get like a 1.75? Like, I don't feel like it's stealing anything.
Yeah,
really.
I would say execution-wise, this would rank higher than 2, so.
Yeah.
1.75.
Yeah, we gave the last one 1.5, so. Okay, and the last. Yeah, okay, so we're at 3.5 currently. Or 3.75, rather. Okay.
Math is hard.
Well, just, yeah. When you're like, oh, gotta keep the thing moving, and then you're also like trying to do numbers at the same time.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
Are there changes made at the end, aka finale rules, just to wrap something up, worth 0.25? I don't think so.
Not really. The only thing that was like
kind of outwits him, ish, right? Like he's got the hole in the floor, the grate's down there. He breaks his ankle on the grate.
But it wasn't like all of that came out of nowhere. Like, it kind of comes to happenstance of just like these pieces are now in play. Use everything at your disposal.
Right.
So I felt like that kind of fit. The one thing that I kind of think of is like when she was riding around on her bike and then all the kids show up in the middle of the street, like right in front of the right house.
Mm-hmm. And then she picks the wrong one.
Yeah. Well, technically,
again,
it was at the right. It was at the right point of the road. She just looked the left.
Well,
instead
because
of the right.
the ghosts were showing her the one with the tree.
Yeah.
As opposed to the one they parked at. Now, should Gwen have seen the black van and been like, "Oh, actually,
it was raining."
Huh?
It was raining.
Well, I know, but even when the cops show up,
yeah,
the grabber's at the house, the van's there. You guys have been looking for a van. Black balloons. The van's right there.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as detective work that went in this, it was bad shit.
And not to mention, we think the guy with the mustache might also grab kids on the side.
He was helping at least. Been heard. Yeah, I don't know.
Does it get the 0.25 for the finale?
Yeah, I don't feel like there was a
they didn't
big
cut
rule
corners.
change or
We're
anything.
good.
No.
Okay, so we're at 4. Plot holes. Some are acceptable. There's a difference between lazy writing and a coincidental plot hole. I don't feel like there's a ton of holes.
There weren't really plot holes. It was just the plot questions, right? It was just the gaps about the mom, the grabber, and kind of some of the history of stuff. But nothing that was like it doesn't. The second house is the only thing for me that doesn't like make any logical sense.
Yeah.
That would be a thing, but
yeah, why does he have all this money? And
Yeah, and how does he have all this money in a way that enables him to be at home seemingly all the time?
All the time. All the time.
And probably support Max's coke habit.
Apparently. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's nothing bad
Yeah,
here,
there's
but
nothing egregious, I don't think.
Yeah.
Nothing worth docking points for.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to get a higher score in some way, but I feel like it's going to be too high. Like our scale might be broken or something. We'll see. Are the special effects utilized to their full potential given the time period where the kills scarce, satisfying, or left a lot to be desired? Okay, now here's where it doesn't get a full point. Because, again, what we kind of talked about with 2, and, you know, I feel like we're finding again here, there is a general lack of casualties.
Yeah.
Now, the max kill is good. Other than that, we don't really see a lot of people die.
Yeah, we just know that they're dead.
Yeah.
We see the visual
The gore is
evidence that
cool.
the ghosts are dead.
Right, you know, the kids are like, you know, they're obviously done in their makeup. I mean, nothing looked bad, really.
Yeah.
The only thing that looked bad, and they obviously shot it in a different location, but is at the end, the dog's there, he has the steak. Now, the whole movie, it's been you walk in the basement, the mattress is directly ahead, you'd go around this corner, you know, and then it goes back to the bathroom, and then there's the freezer. If you break through that wall there's obviously the hole. In the last scene, it's a very green screeny looking situation.
Yeah.
He walks up.
The dimensions of the room look just like completely different almost. Yeah.
Yeah. He's coming from the other side of where the bathroom's been the whole time. You know, and Samson's in the corner here by the door. And he throws in the you know, and he walks. So they changed the whole layout of the room. So that didn't look great. But the kills were better in this movie. I don't know. I feel like it only really gets the half point. I feel like that last sequence is enough for me to want to give it a half point, but I'm open to argument.
Yeah, for me, I felt like it lacked. Like the visual effects were definitely there, but the kills themselves, really, with it just being the focus on Max and then us just kind of seeing the aftermath of everybody else, to me, it feels pretty weak. So, yeah, I wouldn't give more than
just
the half.
The half point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way. All right. So, 4.75. To be scored, does music fit the moment? Up to a point. Okay. So we've talked about silence is sometimes better in lieu of, you know,
yeah.
Right.
Not everything needs the Jaws theme.
I feel like silence is used well, and I feel like some of these specific, like one sequence I really love, you know, opening credits, it's like some like 70s, 80s, whatever. I don't remember what year we're fucking in, and it doesn't matter. But you know, the vibe at the baseball game, right?
Yeah.
I think there's like some light music in the background, right? And then, you know, the game ends, Bruce is riding his bike down the street. You know, there's like a good, like feel good song going on. And then the grabber comes, you know, he sees the van, and then, you know, it goes to this like, you know,
we see and hear that
credits
transition,
happen. And I think that's done really well.
Yeah.
So I think that fits really well. You know, when Gwen kind of follows Vance Hopper in the dream, and, you know, there's like good music there. And that, so I feel like the silence is used well. And there's a couple of those situations where I'm okay with this being like nothing bothered me here. Like, I'd be okay with the full point. I'm open to negotiation if it needs to be lower.
Yeah.
I
still feel like it's in the category of like, I can't. You had
it's
to
not
bring,
significant enough to give it the full point.
Yeah, you had to bring those, you know, kind of things up. I think you're right. The one in the beginning with Bruce was effective, but like outside of that, there wasn't anything that really stuck out of my head as far as like this was an effective use of like the sound design or anything outside of the quiet. I think fitting in some of it. So
yeah,
I'd say maybe at least take a quarter off of it.
Okay. So, yeah, 1 point. So, all right, another 0.75. So we're gonna be at 5.5. All right, do we have an established main character? Obviously.
Yep.
Even if the antagonist said horror movies, the main character, do we care about them? Good character development, etc. I like all that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's any issues there.
Mm-hmm. Do I inherently have to care about Finney?
Okay, so that's a complicated one in a movie about a child getting murdered, right? Because you're like a child possibly getting murdered, right? Because you don't really have to know the kid to like not want them to die.
Yeah, and
'cause it's a
we
kid.
we get a little bit of him being a person through like again kind of like those interactions of him fighting kids at school and the home life and whatnot there. But I asked the question just to see what response you would have for it.
I mean, unless you're watching a movie that's like an inherently shitty guy, it's like Saw, for example. Do you really give a fuck if that guy dies?
No.
You know, I mean, obviously you're like, hey, killing's bad, but you're not heartbroken if a guy ends up dying.
Well, yeah, it's where it's placed, right? If you care about the character, it's a you shouldn't be doing this to the character I care about.
Yeah.
And then if it's more of a well, you just shouldn't be doing that in general.
Yeah.
So it's like it's unfocused if we don't have the reason to care about the character, but then if we we build him up and give him the story and give people a reason to care about him, then it's a poor Finney, like he's got it rough enough, man. Be good to the kid.
Yeah. Whereas Saw, it is the general that. And then you're also like, yeah, I don't really know that I know this guy enough to be like, oh no. But if Finney would have died, we'd have been like, oh,
Poor Finney.
like that's not.
What's Gwen gonna do?
Yeah. Or if Gwen would have died, as like a casualty of like the grabbers coming home,
Mm-hmm.
and just like, oh, this little bitch is getting in my business. You'd have been like, oh, Gwen. Anyway. So does that get the full 2, or where are we sitting at there?
Doesn't feel like it should get the full 2, but I don't have an argument against it getting the full 2.
Yeah, I don't feel like they did anything wrong. I think we're, again, kind of like the last movie where points get taken off is the next one because we're in the how impending is the doom, and it's about the antagonist and everything. So, although the 2 kind of takes it to 7.5.
There's no way this movie's going to finish out at like an 8.5 or something.
Out of principle, it really can't. I feel like we get... You know what? Okay. I don't know. Part of me says... Like, I don't think this is an 8. And that's all I really know.
It kind of sits in the same state as I feel like 2 does, and it does some things better.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely doesn't break that 8 mark.
This is maybe a 7.5 to 7.75, however that works out now. How we get there, if the current scale, I'm not real sure.
Yeah. The number's the number,
about,
but I know in my heart of hearts, this score is 7.75.
Yeah.
That's a personal modifier just at the end of it.
Here's what I'm okay with. If this gets the 2, because like we said, we're not real sure why, that takes us to 7.5. And then to me, the how impending is the doom is the character constantly in danger of even unbeknownst to them. Not really. Finney does sort of have license to hang out in this basement and try to escape in whatever way he wants.
Yeah, he
Think
doesn't
about
get
the amount of time lapsed that he digs a literal man-sized hole in the floor for the grabber to then fall in later. Right?
And then
he
digs a hole in the wall.
And then digs a literal hole in the wall and then you just can't get out of the freezer. Right? And the plumbing in that house has to be fucked with all the dirty flushed down the toilet. But also, and then the grate that he pulls down, and then the grabber somehow never really addressing the grate. Like, you would think that would be, whatever, the game he likes to play.
He never
plays
looked up.
Naughty Boy, like,
Well, also, I guess
that seems like a...
Yeah.
He put the grate in the hole. Obviously, he hid that in the hole, but then the grabber obviously put the grate there for a reason.
Yeah.
Also, the grate wasn't there. Maybe the grate was a later addition, but in number 2, when the mom looks down in the basement and sees Billy Showalter or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't say it. There was no grate on the window. Maybe it was a later edition. Maybe somebody tried to get out, et cetera, et cetera. Which, if anything, the grate was also just a detriment because someone had something that they could like jump up and like grab. Moving on.
Yeah.
So, I'm 100% okay that this gets 0.25 because it should get some because it's like, hey, you don't want your child to get taken. That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
but all things considered, like Fenn was taken pretty good care of in his duration of being kidnapped.
The doom really wasn't that impending.
Yeah. Because he liked
do
him.
whatever
he liked
he
the
wanted.
kid. Yeah. And he didn't really have any consequences to, like kind of like you said, freely exploring his environment and, all that shit.
So I think that's how we get to 7.75.
I respect it.
So the 0.25 there gives us 7.75, which is a better score than the second movie, which I think is deserved.
But definitely not an 8.
And it's not an 8 because it doesn't deserve an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, could we add less points in other locations that would probably take it to the right score? Because 0.25 does feel low for that category because the doom is definitely impending and it is definitely realistic to real life because, kidnapping is a real thing that happens.
It is?
And, that is definitely relatable to real life. However, maybe the gimmick gets less points or something. But we got to the score we wanted to get to.
That's all that
I
matters.
think that's really what it is. So, thanks for listening and watching.